Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. The Washington Commanders entered the offseason with a clear mission: bolster their receiving core to support quarterback Jayden Daniels. And perhaps nobody felt the weight of that mission more than Luke McCaffrey. Despite the team's aggressive moves in free agency and the draft, McCaffrey's presence on the 53-man roster remains a point of intrigue for analysts and fans alike. With the recent addition of Deebo Samuel Sr., the drafting of Jalen Lane in the 4th round, and the steady performances of Terry McLaurin and Noah Brown, one might assume McCaffrey's opportunities would be severely limited. Yet, he has maintained a quiet buzz surrounding his potential breakout in year 2, a sign that his talent and versatility have not gone unnoticed. Observers note that while the team's depth at wide receiver creates a crowded room, it simultaneously offers McCaffrey the chance to carve out a niche if he can consistently demonstrate growth and reliability in practice, catching the eyes of coaches who demand results in the NFL. Luke McCaffrey's journey has been far from linear, marked by moments of brilliance and periods of adjustment. Drafted in the 3rd round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the younger McCaffrey faced the classic transition from college to professional play, needing to refine his skills against the speed and complexity of NFL defenses. The Rice product, who spent just 2 years at wide receiver in college after transitioning from quarterback duties, inherently carries an adaptive mindset, but also a steep learning curve. Last season, McCaffrey logged 18 receptions for 168 yards, numbers that barely scratch the surface of his potential. Analysts like Andrew Bullerus argue that his pedigree, being the brother of Christian McCaffrey and son of Ed McCaffrey, adds a psychological edge, a kind of inherited football IQ that can translate to on-field intuition. While the stats were modest, the promise shown in practice reps, route-running ability, and hands-catching technique makes him a candidate for more significant responsibility, especially if he can harness the Commanders' high-volume passing schemes to his advantage. The team's recent wide receiver acquisitions might appear to crowd McCaffrey out, yet they paradoxically enhance the value of his skill set. Deebo Samuel Sr.'s versatility and explosiveness naturally dominate attention, while Jalen Lane's draft capital suggests the team is invested in immediate contribution. Even with Terry McLaurin's consistency and Noah Brown's steady presence, McCaffrey's role could emerge as the X factor, the unpredictable element that defenses might overlook. Analysts note that McCaffrey's ability to adapt to multiple alignments, combined with his body control and physicality, allows him to thrive in mismatches against smaller defensive backs or slower linebackers. The challenge, however, is not merely positional but mental. He must navigate a competitive depth chart without losing confidence, all while absorbing the offensive system's nuances. His off-season preparation, chemistry with Daniels, and performance in early practices will determine whether he can secure the number 3 receiver spot or remain on the periphery of snaps, a storyline that carries both suspense and potential payoff for fans eagerly watching his development. Andrew Bullerus's analysis of McCaffrey's potential breakout carries weight because it recognizes the intersection of opportunity and talent. Bullerus suggests that if McCaffrey can exploit his chances when defensive coverage tightens on Samuel and McLaurin, he could emerge as a critical target for Daniels, particularly in intermediate passing zones where quick decisions are paramount. The Commanders' offensive scheme, which emphasizes tempo and spacing, theoretically provides a fertile environment for McCaffrey to display his route precision and agility, turning what was a modest rookie year into a statistically meaningful sophomore campaign. Yet, this projection assumes that McCaffrey will internalize lessons from last season, sharpen his blocking assignments, and develop trust with the quarterback, all of which are easier said than done in a league where competition is relentless. Still, the combination of inherited football lineage, adaptability, and a coaching staff willing to reward performance creates a narrative ripe for excitement and speculation, fueling conversations among analysts and fans about his potential breakout. The McCaffrey family name brings both expectations and scrutiny, a dual-edged sword that can motivate or pressure an athlete. Luke's brother, Christian, has become a household name through skill, durability, and elite performance, while their father, Ed, set a precedent for professionalism and adaptability in the NFL. These familial comparisons inevitably color perceptions of Luke's trajectory, often framing him as either destined for similar greatness or perpetually in the shadow of past achievements. Yet, those closest to him emphasize his individuality and unique journey, highlighting that his path from quarterback to wide receiver required a rare combination of athleticism, intelligence, and dedication. Such a transformation is not trivial. Mastering route concepts, timing, and positioning against NFL-caliber cornerbacks after primarily playing a different position in college represents a formidable challenge. If McCaffrey can overcome these hurdles and assert himself within the Commanders' crowded receiving corps, he has the potential to redefine expectations not merely as another McCaffrey, but as a player in his own right, capable of carving out a lasting NFL identity. The strategic moves by the Commanders' front office underscore both the opportunities and risks inherent in McCaffrey's situation. Adam Peters and the management team have demonstrated an aggressive, results-oriented approach to roster construction, emphasizing immediate impact players while still nurturing developmental talent. This dual focus creates a dynamic environment where McCaffrey's progression will be closely scrutinized, with limited room for error but substantial room for reward. Analysts argue that a player in McCaffrey's position benefits from clear communication from the coaching staff, structured reps in game-like scenarios, and targeted development plans aimed at exploiting his strengths. With the addition of seasoned veterans and draft picks designed to challenge incumbents, McCaffrey's capacity to adapt and rise through internal competition will determine whether he remains a fringe contributor or transitions into a pivotal offensive weapon, a narrative that could define both his career trajectory and the team's overall offensive identity. While statistics from his rookie year were modest, they failed to capture McCaffrey's contributions to practice intensity, team culture, and situational awareness. The coaching staff noted his ability to absorb complex playbooks, execute under pressure, and display situational intelligence, qualities that are less quantifiable yet crucial in earning trust from a quarterback and teammates. The Commanders' passing strategy, expected to be robust in 2025, could provide McCaffrey with the chance to leverage these intangible skills, particularly in third-down situations and red zone targets where precision and timing trump raw athleticism. The underlying narrative becomes one of patience, preparation, and opportunity. If McCaffrey can translate practice performance into game-day execution, he may ascend the pecking order faster than external observers anticipate. This tension between potential and opportunity fuels intrigue among analysts, fans, and even opponents who must account for an ascending wideout lurking in the shadows of a star-studded receiver lineup. The uncertainty surrounding McCaffrey's immediate role contrasts sharply with the optimism expressed by analysts like Buller Russ, highlighting the duality of professional football. Talent alone does not guarantee opportunity, yet opportunity without talent rarely yields success. This precarious balance defines McCaffrey's current situation, where preparation, adaptability, and mental toughness are as critical as physical skill. Observers note that the Commanders' high-octane offense, coupled with Daniels' willingness to distribute the ball, creates a scenario where a breakout is possible if McCaffrey seizes his moments. Yet, consistency remains the key metric by which breakout potential is measured, and history demonstrates that even highly gifted players can struggle without reliable performance patterns. For McCaffrey, the challenge is clear. He must convert flashes of brilliance into sustained production, solidifying his reputation and carving a definitive role within a team poised for competitive aspirations. Despite the crowded wide receiver room, McCaffrey's prospects retain a degree of optimism, driven by both pedigree and situational factors. Analysts emphasize that the sophomore wideout possesses the raw tools to thrive if utilized strategically, particularly in schemes that exploit mismatches or leverage his transitional skill set. With coaching attention, game plan integration, and a willingness to embrace specialized roles, McCaffrey could emerge as a reliable third-option receiver, perhaps even threatening the secondary rotation of more established teammates. The narrative surrounding his breakout is compelling precisely because it combines uncertainty, inherited athletic intelligence, and opportunity. Fans watching training camp and preseason games will likely scrutinize every target, reception, and practice snap, searching for signs that McCaffrey is ready to graduate from a developmental prospect to a legitimate offensive contributor, a storyline that embodies the excitement and unpredictability of NFL player development. Ultimately, Luke McCaffrey's path in 2025 will hinge on preparation meeting opportunity amidst the Commanders' ambitious roster construction. Analysts, front office observers, and fans alike are captivated by the potential for a sophomore breakout, the kind that can redefine a player's role and shift the narrative around a team's offensive identity. While competition for snaps is fierce and the expectations high, McCaffrey's combination of athletic lineage, adaptability, and practice acumen provide the foundation for optimism. Whether he solidifies a number 3 receiver role, emerges as a situational weapon, or quietly contributes in ways less visible to the casual observer, the unfolding story is one of perseverance, opportunity, and the pursuit of professional growth. Those who continue to believe in McCaffrey's potential hope that the wideout's preparation and talent converge in meaningful ways, ultimately transforming hope into tangible on-field impact, a payoff both rewarding for fans and critical for the Commanders' 2025 offensive ambitions. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. Terry McLaurin's injury during the Commanders' practice has sent shockwaves through the NFL community, sparking speculation and concern among fans and analysts alike. The news emerged quietly at first, a subtle murmur among reporters covering the team in Ashburn, but quickly escalated into full-blown discussion across social media platforms, with fans dissecting every possible scenario for the star wide receiver. McLaurin, who has been a consistent performer for Washington, reportedly experienced discomfort in his lower body during a routine drill, prompting medical staff to intervene immediately. While the team has yet to release an official statement regarding the severity of the injury, insiders suggest that there is a palpable sense of caution in the locker room, as players and coaches alike are acutely aware of the impact that losing a key offensive weapon could have on their season trajectory. Analysts are already weighing potential lineup changes and how the offense might adapt. Rumors regarding McLaurin's recovery timeline have sparked heated debates among fans and pundits, with some speculating that the injury could be minor, allowing him to return within weeks, while others fear a more extended absence that could significantly hamper the Commanders' early season performance. The player's history of resilience and commitment to conditioning is being cited as a positive indicator, yet uncertainty lingers over the exact nature of the injury, leaving room for endless conjecture. Speculative chatter on fan forums highlights the tension, as fantasy football enthusiasts frantically assess the implications for their teams. Analysts are now closely monitoring practice reports and media sessions for any hints about the player's condition, with every subtle movement during warm-ups being dissected for signs of progress or lingering discomfort. Coaches have remained tight-lipped, adding fuel to the swirling rumors, while insiders hint that McLaurin's leadership and presence on the field extend beyond his statistical contributions, meaning his absence could have psychological as well as tactical repercussions. Social media has erupted with memes, fan theories, and even questionable medical speculation, creating an atmosphere where every headline or minor report is magnified exponentially. Observers note that the timing of the injury, during what was considered a standard training session, makes it even more unsettling, as it raises questions about the intensity of practice routines and player safety protocols within the Commanders organization. Sources suggest that teammates are rallying around McLaurin, showing support both publicly and privately, while the coaching staff reportedly reassesses the load on other key offensive players to compensate for any potential downtime. Rumors about potential lineup adjustments, including the elevation of younger receivers or free agent acquisitions, are circulating, though nothing has been confirmed. Analysts are also speculating about how rival defenses might react, potentially capitalizing on the temporary absence of one of Washington's most dynamic threats. The uncertainty has created a strange mix of concern, anticipation, and intrigue among the fanbase, feeding the rumor mill further. Veteran commentators have started drawing comparisons to past seasons when star players were sidelined unexpectedly, highlighting the delicate balance between team performance and individual health. While some argue that the Commanders' offensive scheme can adapt to such setbacks, Others contend that McLaurin's chemistry with quarterback Sam Howell is difficult to replicate, making any substitution a gamble. Rumors of potential conservative management strategies, such as limiting his snaps even when he returns, are circulating in insider circles, with some suggesting the coaching staff might prioritize long-term health over short-term gains. The locker room atmosphere, according to some sources, is one of cautious optimism, yet there is an underlying tension as every practice and game becomes a point of scrutiny. Speculative narratives about McLaurin's recovery, the timing of his return, and the implications for the team's playoff aspirations continue to dominate sports talk, feeding a complex web of anticipation and anxiety. Fantasy football leagues are experiencing immediate ripple effects from McLaurin's injury news, with owners scrambling to adjust rosters and explore waiver options. Analysts note that his absence could shift defensive matchups, potentially benefiting other receivers on the Commanders' roster or even altering league-wide strategic approaches. Insider chatter hints that the team may consider more creative offensive plays or formations to maintain competitiveness, while sports media outlets fan the flames of speculation by highlighting every minor practice update or cryptic comment from team personnel. Fan reactions range from hopeful optimism that McLaurin will return swiftly to outright panic about the potential consequences for Washington's offensive production. As these discussions unfold, the rumor mill gains momentum, with each new report, verified or not, serving as fuel for endless debate. This dynamic, in turn, reinforces the perception that the injury could have far-reaching implications beyond the immediate team and fan base. Some insiders suggest that the timing of McLaurin's injury could inadvertently affect trade rumors or roster moves within the league, with rival teams possibly exploring opportunistic signings or adjustments in response. Speculative whispers hint that front offices are quietly reassessing their offensive strategies and personnel allocations, anticipating a potential shift in competitive balance. Media outlets have picked up on these subtle cues, creating a narrative that intertwines the immediate concern for McLaurin's health with broader league-wide implications. Fans and pundits alike are scrutinizing every interview, press conference, and social media post for subtle hints, feeding a cycle where speculation often outweighs confirmed information. The atmosphere surrounding the Commanders' camp has transformed from routine preseason buzz into a fevered mix of concern, curiosity, and strategic calculation, all revolving around one player's uncertain status. Reports from sources close to the team hint that medical evaluations are ongoing, with staff carefully monitoring McLaurin's condition and adjusting treatment plans as needed. While the precise nature of the injury remains under wraps, insiders suggest that conservative recovery measures are being prioritized to ensure long-term availability. Coaches are reportedly reevaluating the offensive playbook, anticipating scenarios where McLaurin's absence could force a reimagining of key plays and formations. Teammates, meanwhile, are publicly expressing support, emphasizing solidarity and the importance of collective effort regardless of setbacks. Rumors about potential midweek updates, rehabilitation progress, and even minor setbacks circulate daily, keeping fans and media in a constant state of vigilance. Every report, whether speculative or factual, seems to amplify the intensity of discussion surrounding the team, creating a sense of suspense that borders on obsession among the fan base and sports commentators alike. The psychological impact of McLaurin's injury on the locker room cannot be understated, according to insider reports, with coaches attempting to maintain morale and focus while managing uncertainty. Players are said to be rallying around each other, using leadership dynamics to mitigate the effect of losing a key offensive weapon. Analysts speculate that young receivers may be thrust into more prominent roles, while defensive strategies against the Commanders could evolve in anticipation of the absence of a dominant target. Rumors about how opposing teams are planning to exploit potential weaknesses have become a staple topic across sports networks, feeding the larger narrative of suspense and speculation. Fans are closely monitoring every practice snap, social media post, and interview for hints of recovery, contributing to an ongoing, almost theatrical tension that seems to surround the entire organization, amplifying the impact of one player's uncertain status. Some reports even suggest that McLaurin's potential absence could affect ticket sales, fan engagement, and overall team momentum, with supporters anxious about performance outcomes in his absence. While this remains speculative, insiders highlight that star players often serve as both tactical and symbolic pillars, meaning their availability can influence more than just on-field results. Rumors about alternative offensive strategies, backup player utilization, and even minor medical adjustments dominate conversations among analysts and fans alike. Social media interactions have turned into a mix of hope, panic, and strategic evaluation, as fantasy players, commentators, and casual fans debate the implications for both short-term performance and long-term season objectives. The story of McLaurin's injury has transcended its immediate circumstances, becoming a topic of broader cultural and strategic fascination within NFL circles. Speculative discussions about the Commanders' schedule and potential matchup outcomes are now deeply intertwined with McLaurin's uncertain status, creating a feedback loop of rumor, anticipation, and tactical assessment. Analysts are predicting a cascade of effects, ranging from altered game plans to shifts in league standings, based purely on the unknown timeline of his recovery. Fans are dissecting every minor practice detail, trying to interpret body language, movement patterns, and even subtle comments for clues, feeding the continuous rumor cycle. While the team remains tight-lipped, insiders indicate that contingency planning is extensive, from personnel adjustments to revised offensive schemes. Every conversation, both on-air and online, gravitates toward the central question of when, or if, McLaurin will return, keeping speculation at fever pitch and turning an individual injury into a focal point for broader discussions of strategy, resilience, and team identity. Ultimately, the ripple effects of Terry McLaurin's training injury extend far beyond the immediate physical setback, igniting a storm of rumors, analysis, and conjecture across the NFL landscape. Observers note that the team's management, coaching staff, and players are balancing optimism and caution as they navigate the uncertainty, while media coverage continues to amplify each minor update into headline news. Fantasy football leagues adjust strategies, fans analyze potential offensive adjustments, and commentators speculate about long-term implications, all creating a dynamic where anticipation and rumor feed upon each other. While the official severity and timeline remain undisclosed, the narrative surrounding McLaurin's injury has taken on a life of its own, reflecting the deep connection between star athletes and their communities. For now, the rumor mill will continue to churn, each whisper contributing to an ever-growing saga around one of Washington's most pivotal offensive weapons. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.